Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle. I have to say, so I'm not really feeling that well today. So I'm not going to say my usual I'm excited today because I'm feeling pretty bad today. But we did get the rehearsal clips and the snippets from Melfest Semi Final 4. We've got to talk about this. We've got to talk about this because so this was a little bit interesting. I don't think I've ever watched rehearsal snippets so many times. I think I've always just been able to kind of watch them like one or two times. I get the gist of the performance, and then you can kind of assess from there, also keeping in mind it's only like 30 seconds, so it's not that much, but like it's enough for me to go off of. But I'm not gonna lie, I think I was so confused by what I was kind of seeing and hearing and experiencing, especially considering that this is semifinal 4. So in theory, like semifinal 4, like we're going out with a bang to a certain extent, even though we still have Anna Hansen. It's like, okay, like we've been doing all of these weekends and now we have semifinal 4. And yeah, I think I was just expecting a little bit more of a bang with these performances. I wouldn't even say if you had asked me going into this that this was a weak semi. I don't think that. And I do just want to clarify that I don't think that this year is a weak Melfest year. I've been seeing some of those comments on Twitter. I don't think that this is a weak Melfest year. I think the last 2 years at Melfest, like this year is definitely better than the last 2 years, in my humble opinion. So let me hop into these comments. Hey, ESCRTE. Hello, Par. Hey, TJ. Hey, Craig. Hello, Benjamin from France. Hello, Linus. You said you love this semi and you don't care what anyone says, and you should feel that way, for real. Pump Lisa says daughter is better. Someone asked, is this the worst semi out of the 4? No, I don't think that this is the worst semi. I don't necessarily feel that way. Yeah. So yeah, let's get into this. I'm going to start with Frida. So do I like the song? That's a yes. And wait, let me just start off and say, I think a lot of the songs in this semi, and I think this might be a little bit of my apprehension with some of them, is it's a lot of derivative tracks. If you don't know what derivative means, I encourage you to ask Alexa, ask Siri, or ask Google. But a lot of these songs do feel a little bit derivative. So yeah, let me just say that because I'll probably be bringing this up throughout when we talk about today. So do I like it? Yes. Do I think it should advance? Like, maybe. I'm not like completely opposed to it. But let's talk about like the rehearsal. I don't know what she is wearing. She said, we are one. Well, that outfit is not the one. We need to get rid of it. I also don't really completely understand the staging with the tinsel curtain. I mean, it's something about it just seems a little cheap. Just a little cheap. So I don't know about that. Let's move on to William. I'm just going to start off and say that I did a reaction before and I listened to some of William's performances, I guess, when he was on Idol. I'm not going to lie, I was not a huge fan of William's vocal, but he sounds very good here. Now, I do think he is singing with a backing track and some backup singers. But I appreciated his vocal. I thought the vocal actually sounded very good. But I do feel like Paul Ray should have sang this song, not because William can't, but because it's that good. And I think the hype that Paul Ray had, he should have probably had this track than the one that he ended up having. So I don't know how I feel about that. I do think, William is dressed very nice. I love the styling that he has. We've been saying this throughout Melodifestivalen this year, but all of the dark staging, I just don't understand it. I don't understand why everything looks so dark. Yeah, and this staging is kind of dark. So yeah. I'm gonna move on to Nanne. So I don't want to say that I had high hopes. But I think I had like some high hopes, like a little bit. And yeah, First of all, I guess watching the rehearsal clip, I don't know why all of them were not dressed in their styling. I feel like, a rehearsal, we get to have a chance to test out the styling. I guess they didn't want to do that because watching it, I think not having the styling has affected the performance a little bit and has affected like my sense of it. Honestly, like the snippet didn't really move me. And I'm not going to lie, like when I heard the snippet, I kind of was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about this advancing. And that's so crazy because I guess I had high hopes. I really have liked every single other thing that Nanne has brought to Melodifestivalen. So yeah, this was like, and I have to confess, if I'm just being honest, which I know y'all are here for me to be honest, when this snippet came on, this was the snippet, not the rehearsal clip. The snippet, I was like, is it still going on? Like, how long of this do I have to listen to? And it's just a clip, which is crazy. So, yeah. Yeah, and where is the styling? Like, we had a whole rehearsal clip. It looked fun, but like, where is the styling? I guess we won't see it until Saturday. Whatever. So we have Victor, Crone, and I mean, this is another track that is extremely derivative. I mean, come on. But I do feel like the track is a level up from Storms, personally. Yeah, I do. I actually, when I was listening to the snippets, this was probably one of my favorite snippets. I really only had two favorites from the snippets, if I'm being honest, that I really felt like confident about. And there were some that I was like, oh, I like this, but like I'm not wild about it. But there were really only two snippets that I liked a lot. This was actually one of them. Apparently the staging is going to be very high tech. We did not see that in the rehearsal clip. The vocal does seem to be difficult. I mean, when I was listening to the track, I was like, is Victor going to be able to do this? I mean, I know he'll probably have backing vocal support, but I am I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is his styling. I guess I'm assuming that this is his styling because it was a look and it was coordinated. I don't know. There's something about the camera work this year that I find very jarring for the men who happen to be short. Like everybody looks, all the men who are not super tall, which honestly, Robin's probably the only one that's like not looking super short. Like, I mean, Paul Ray looked tiny. Victor looks tiny. Nobody wants to look short. I'm short, but you don't want to look short. You know what I mean? Like, can we get some camera angles to like not make them look so small on that big stage? Come on. But yeah, I think the only question with Victor is, will he be able to deliver this vocal performance flawlessly? And it is a difficult vocal, and I do hope he can execute it because I actually really do like this song. Okay, let me move on to the next derivative track that we have, which is Surface. I mean Shallow. I mean Surface. I mean Shallow. Okay. So it sounds very good. The vocal is very good. In the rehearsal clip, we had absolutely no styling. And low-key, it didn't even really seem like we had that much staging, because why you would have a duet and people on stage singing a duet and like all of these wide shots is beyond me. Like, I don't even know why I know what her shoes look like. Like, we should not be looking at her shoes. We should just be showing the faces of Ellen and Simon. I don't understand. I don't understand the staging for this song. Next, I really don't understand that in such a musical powerhouse country like Sweden, we have to have a song that is so derivative. I mean, actually, and this one is beyond derivative. Like, this one was really like, let's write something kind of like Shallow and then call it Surface. I mean, come on, y'all. Like, we are not stupid. Like, we are not dumb. And like, Shallow is not that old. It doesn't matter how good the song is, in my opinion. It is just far too derivative for me to even think about it advancing. And if it does advance, I don't think it'll be direct. And if it's in Andra Hansen, I hope someone else gets to have that slot. Because I just think that that's, I mean, it's just kind of like lazy almost. But no shade to the performers because I mean, they sounded really good. They really did sound good. So, I mean, what else can you ask for? So now I'm going to move on to Jacob, who actually, this was my favorite. This was my favorite track that I heard. It was my favorite staging that I saw. Yeah, I just really liked it. I like when I heard the snippet, I was like, "Ooh, that's it. I want to hear more of this." And then when I saw the rehearsal clip, I was like, "This is good." I mean, it was straightforward. It was simple. You know, he's singing with a guitar. He has a band, but they also had like some really cool like camera shots. I really like this entry. I think that this is one of the stronger ones. I will say that I don't want to say that I had high hopes for Jacob, but I definitely was checking for him when I did my preview because I liked his other stuff. So yeah, I really, really liked that one. So now let's talk about Hanna. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all because y'all come to me because because I'll be honest. Um The first time, so I listened to the snippet first, but I'm gonna tell y'all the first thing that I said, and I said it out loud after I finished watching the rehearsal clip for the first time, was just no. I I didn't. The styling was what it was. The staging was what it was. I mean, obviously Hanna is beautiful. Obviously, we know she can sing. You know, I'm not worried about honestly, I wasn't worried, and I'm not really worried about her vocal, and I'm not really worried about how she's gonna look ultimately. Um, but I am worried about everything else. I'm just worried about everything else. I know that Laurel wrote the song, and when I heard the song, I was like, "Oh, this sounds like something I could hear Laurel singing." And then when I saw the clip, I was like, "Oh, I think I actually hear Laurel." So I think she might be back doing the backing vocals for this song because I was like, low key, I hear her. If she's not doing the backing vocals, then she might be on the backing track. But I don't know. I was not convinced with that. I wasn't convinced. And with all of the hype, you know, behind Hanna, which I will be honest, I was not necessarily in the camp of people that was hyping Hanna. I always said if we were checking for any female artists, I'm like, Anna, just off the strength of coming off of all that momentum from last year, Mariette with just having like the track record she has at Melodifestivalen and the track record she continues to have with qualifying direct to the final a fourth time. And then, you know, I was checking for a daughter coming back for revenge because I was like, she's not about to come back and play around. I think she's going to come back and serve, which she did. So, yeah, I don't know. So let me hop into these comments really quickly because I know y'all have been chatting away. So let's see. So Neil Era says, I need to watch the whole thing. I just don't know what to think. Par says, I think it's pretty obvious that Anna or daughter will win this year. The mamas might have a chance, but they will probably not win. ESC Topless says, I really didn't like Frida's clips. She's just shouting, clap your hands, like, I don't get it. Olivia says, she looks like she's attempting to wear the Melfest logo and failing. Oh, I think we're talking about Frida. Yeah, that styling is not it. Oh, where are we? Kevin said, I'm really surprised by William. I actually love it, and I think the staging is beautiful. I actually agree with you. I think William actually ended up serving. And again, I'm kind of like, I sort of almost wish that Paul had this track, this styling, and this staging, honestly. So Osa says, Nana, I just don't want to hear a 57-year-old lady sing a song about her mooning people in traffic lights. Is that what she's talking about? That is wild. Pogo says the mamas seem like they can handle everybody in this semi. I don't disagree with that. I really don't disagree with that. Pumpa Lisa says the mamas are not really hyped at all here in Sweden. Almost all people here love Daughter. I really hope she wins. Well, that's interesting. I was wondering if, because it does seem like Eurovision fans seem to be really liking Daughter, but what Eurovision fans, what we like, doesn't always necessarily translate to the Swedish public. So I'm always curious, like, well, who are Swedes really into? Pogo says it's between them, I think referring to the mamas, Anna and Daughter maybe. Deep says Daughter will win this year. Mark my words. Also says I have liked Nanne's no. Yusuf says, is it like only me that thinks Hannah Firm Brave is like so 2005? And then Shroom says, no, you're not the only one. I'm like, I don't even know if it's like dated. I just don't feel like it's the winner. It's not even so much that because I don't necessarily feel like the track is dated. I just, in listening to it, I just was like, oh, for all of the hype that was attached to this, like I still think the front runners that we have are still comfortably the front runners that we have. And it's crazy because, to have all the front runners, in my opinion, really come from like semi 1 and 2. I mean, it's interesting. I think, Daughter and Anna are high up there. I think the mamas definitely still have a chance because I think the international juries will just love on them. I think that Robin Bengtsson is still out there with that catchy ass song. Yeah. So Mitchell says Hanna and Victor will go direct to the final. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that that's possible. Let me see some more of these comments. Neil Era says Victor's falsetto worries me. Yeah, I hope that he's able to execute it. ESC Topless says it's between Daughter and the mamas, and maybe if someone from this semi can get hyped on Saturday. I mean, I don't really see anybody from this mix, including Hanna, really trouncing what we already have. I think maybe that's like where I'm coming from is I feel, yeah, I don't know. Josh says Alesia's tea is tasty today. I don't know. I don't even know if it's tea, but I feel like it's the truth. Like, I just sort of feel like, if Hanna goes direct to, like, I'm just going to be real with y'all. If I had my choice, if I was voting as a televoting nation and jury of one, I would actually, if Victor is able to hit his notes, because I know he was saying, I think he's been like preserving and not really singing full out, which I think a lot of these performers need to do, especially come Eurovision. A lot of these performers do all these rehearsals and are singing full out. And then when they get to the jury show, can't sing no notes. And it makes absolutely no sense. No sense. Rehearsals, they matter, but like what happens on the night matters more. You need them jury points and you need them televote points. Thank you for serving it for the press. We appreciate it. But, the bulk of us can't even vote. So, well, actually, maybe the bulk of us probably can vote, but I digress. So if it was just me, based off of what I saw today, I was kind of like, I'd let Jakob and Victor go direct to the final if Victor is able to hit the notes. And if we get the show that allegedly we're supposed to be getting, I would give it to Jakob and Victor to advance. And then for Andra Hansen, I would probably say like William and Hanna, because I really did like what William was serving. I thought he was actually giving something really cute. Yeah, and I mean, Nanne is just like a legend. So I kind of am like, I just feel like Nanne is going to be in Andra Hansen or in the final. Like, I just don't feel like she's going to flop. So, yeah, if I don't feel like it's going to flop, like, I'm just kind of like, okay. But I mean, I do think Hanna probably has enough hype to at least get her to Andra Hansen. Who knows? Okay, so Blackstall Hill. Why does everyone think Anna won't get jury points? The song is better and different from last year, so I don't see why the jury won't give her points. I think the jury is going to give Anna some points this year, to be honest. I don't see this being completely blacked out by the jury at all. I really, really don't. Nil Era says, I need Sweden sending an entry that is simply enjoyable without trying to tell you, look how good I am. I don't know who that's directed to, but okay. Fariza says, who do you think will win Melfest? I don't really know because I have to see Andra Hansen. Because let me just say, I think Felix is still in play. I am not fully convinced that Sweden is over their boy singing, their good-looking boy singing nice, well-produced pop track phase. I am not convinced that Sweden is ready to quit on that movement. And I think Robin is giving it. And I think Felix is giving it. I like Jacob's song, but I don't know if I don't think he's going to give enough to like trounce Robin or Felix at all. But Neil Era says, Felix is flopping on Spotify. It ain't happening. Okay. Luke Smith says, most unpredictable Melfest in many years. The final voting sequence is going to be very exciting. Neil Era says, Anis leads on Spotify and YouTube from Andra Hansen. I mean, I really loved his performance. I thought that performance was really joyful, but I don't think that Sweden is going to send it. Like, I don't think that Anis Don Demina is going to win. I don't see that happening at all. Simple things. I just want Sweden to send something different. ESC Topless says, yeah, Anis is actually doing best on streaming sites from the Second Chance songs. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. I like that song. And actually, you know, why would I not like it? I heard it, you know, a couple of years ago when Macklemore did it. So, you know, I mean, it's a really, you know, catchy beat and everything. Eurotainment said, I heard the snippets and thought, wow, all songs are very good. And then saw the rehearsal, so different. Yeah. Yeah, the rehearsal sort of changed things for me a little bit. I don't know, y'all. So what I think actually could happen is like maybe Victor and Nanne go direct to final. Maybe, I don't know. I'm lying. So what I think actually is going to happen is Victor and Hanna might qualify, and then Andra Hansen will be Jakob and Nanne. I'm thinking that actually might be the movement of what's going to occur. But again, if I had my choice, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. Like, of what I've seen right now, I'm not really a fan of what Hanna is serving. It's like, one, I don't think I would listen to the song in my car. The song feels a little young, but like being sold to me by like, oh, I'm trying to be sultry and sexy, but it really is more of like a cute girl bop. Like low-key Malou should have done this song, and maybe Hanna should have sung Ballerina. Quiet as Is Kept. That actually probably should have happened. Had Malou doing something cute, and had, you know, Ace Wilder doing the staging for Brave with Malou. That actually would have been really cute. And then you could have just had Hanna, you know, singing Ballerina, you know, and giving, you know, that powerful vocal that, you know, she's giving. But it's like, I feel like the song is so cute and like joyful, but kind of the staging of it is more like, I'm trying to be sultry and sexy. And that doesn't even seem to be the spirit of the song. So I don't know. So Jake says Hanna is going to the final 100%, so popular in Sweden and beautiful. Okay, yeah, like I said, what I think is likely, I'm just going to reiterate this. If I had to make a prediction, I think direct to final could be Victor and Hanna, and then Andra Hansen, Nanne, and Jakob. Even though I don't know, I I like what William is serving, but I do think Jacob's, he sounded really good. It's upbeat. I do like the fact that it's in Swedish. And I mean, yeah, I really do like what Jacob's serving. It was just my favorite one. Um, Blackstall Hill said, if you place Too Late for Love in this year's Melfest, do you think it would win by such a big margin or even win again? Maybe it would, because, and the reason why I say maybe it would is because I think that Swedes really just liked Jan Lundvik. And I think this year it's a little bit trickier. I think the love is a little bit more dispersed, but there's something very safe and comfortable about Jan Lundvik for Swedes, I think. So he just feels like a safe bet. I don't know. Swede Miro says there will be 4 songs in the final that will be top 10 in Rotterdam. Like, oh, in this Melfest final, probably. I agree. I mean, honestly, like when people say that this year is a weak year for Melodifestivalen, I just have to reiterate again, I just don't agree with that. I just don't think that this is, yeah, I just don't agree. Nil Era says, I prefer Brave over Ballerina. Okay. Nil Era says, no one can compete with the Root. Well, I kind of agree with that. Emmanuel Jean, would you be surprised if Sweden placed top 10 with any of the songs? No, because it's Sweden. Michael Steele, is there an act this year in Melfest that's your fave? I know there's probably more than one, but do you have that special one? To be honest, not really. I think, there are Melfest years where I've just been really in love with one track. I would say, what was it, 2017? Although I really liked Statements, I liked I Can't Go On. I really liked it. When I saw the performance, I would literally like scream at, like you could see my reactions to like every single time I saw I Can't Go On. Like my friend Sean and I would just exclaim legitimately because I loved everything about that song, and I loved the staging, every single thing about that song I love. Last year at Melfest, I didn't really have any favorites. To be honest, last year at Melfest, I wasn't really a fan. And the year before last, Dance You Off was my favorite song. I loved Dance You Off. I loved the staging. I loved the song. So this year, I don't necessarily feel that same like fervor. I like Bulletproof. I like Kingdom Come. And I would say I like the Mamas, like Move. The song Move to me is like Take It or Leave It. I like the full package of it. And I really do like Take a Chance on Me. If there was a Melfest CD at this point, honestly, I'd probably listen to Take a Chance the most. And that's not any shade to like Bulletproof, because like Bulletproof, I would just listen to like in my regular life. You know what I don't know how to describe it. Like I would just listen to that song in my playlist. Like Kingdom Come, I wouldn't necessarily really listen to because it's just not the genre of music that I gravitate towards in regular life. Like whereas Bulletproof is more so like kind of what I'm into. But I do think if there was a whole Melfest CD, for some reason, I do think that Take a Chance on Me probably is what I would listen to the most because it just seems so catchy. Best Fan Eurovision says, Alesia Michelle, I hope that Bulletproof will win. Love that staging, but I think Kingdom Come will win. I'm sort of in that boat where I love Bulletproof, but I just have this feeling that like Kingdom Come could get more points. I don't know how or why I think that, but I just have this feeling that I'm just like, oh, I think it could get more points. I probably rooted and based in nothing. Just to give a quick warning, I'm going to sign off soon. So if you have any like last minute questions or things you want to touch on or ask me about, this is the time. Pogo says, who out of the favorites this year could put in some Swedish in their song and still be in the running for the win? Is there a song that would survive that? I think a lot of the songs would survive that. I think Take a Chance would survive it. Not the Mamas. I don't think that would fit. That would seem weird. But I think Take a Chance could be translated. I mean, Brave probably could have been. I don't know. Nil Era, Kingdom Come would be so different compared to Norway and everything else we have. I agree. I think honestly, if Sweden really was like, we would like to win again, like as much as I like Bulletproof, I don't know if Bulletproof would win Eurovision. And I don't know why I think that. But I guess I would say because next to the Roop, I think I would still kind of go with, yeah, like let's have the Roop and Lithuania win it. But I think like the Mamas would just get a ton of jury points. And I think there's something about Kingdom Come, that full package that Anna is giving, that I really could see juries and televoters coming behind, because there is something about that performance that I do find joyful, and that I do find like just striking. I think sonically and visually, it's a Kingdom Come is really unforgettable. Jakey says, what do you think about Ballerina? Like, if she performed in the semifinal, it would have been a DTF 1000%. I actually kind of agree with that. I really do. I think Malu, in this semi, I probably would have said like Malu and Hanna will go direct to final, and then like Victor and maybe like Nanne and Jakob be running, like going up against each other. I just think Nanne has so much fan base and it's just fun, and Swedes will be like, this is fun, I want to vote for it. Which I think is unfortunate because I really like Jacob's song. I actually really, really do. Arnold Beck, do you believe we could have a surprise and see Sweden failing to qualify this year? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't see that happening at all. I mean, we really don't have enough songs to like tell that, but like, I just don't see that happening. I don't even think that that's realistic. Chris Wharton, out of the Andra Hansen songs, which do you see most likely to qualify for the final? Well, honestly, Anis Don Demina, that song, because I will tell you, I did not have high hopes for that song. And when I saw the performance, I smiled the entire time. I'm not even a fan of Swedish rap. I think there's some, it's just, I'm not convinced. You know, I do think that the song is derivative. I mean, they legitimately just took Macklemore's beat and like put some Swedish words on top of it. But that performance is so damn joyful. Like I fully expect to see it in the final. I really, really do. I fully expect to see it in the final. I think Malu could find herself in the final, but it all depends upon if those producers want to see her in the final or not, which that's so crazy, right? Split in Half says Felix needs to qualify for the final. I think Felix will. I think with that staging and the performance and his charisma, I do think the producers want him in the final. So if I was Team Felix and all of that, I would not be worried. I just wouldn't. We'll end up. Par says Sweden will end up 5th in Eurovision once again. Remember where you heard it first. I mean, I don't really think that that's even like a wild prediction, to be honest. So I don't think anyone. I mean, you can maybe do a bet amongst your friends, but I mean, betting that Sweden will finish anywhere in the top 10 is kind of an easy bet. Yeah. And Nico says Nanne's song will stand out from the rest due to the show. The new voting system may favor her if younger people vote for her too. Just remember that Anne Louise almost qualified last year. Well, hold on. Let me just say, first of all, Nanne is not Anne Louise. And I actually, like, to me, in every scenario I've set up, Nanne's either going direct to final or Andra Hansen. Okay? I mean, out of this bunch of songs, I mean, it does stand out. There's just no question in my mind. Nanne is going to be direct to final or Andra Hansen. I don't know which one for real, but like I said, let me just say my predictions again. Like, so my predictions of what I think will happen, as opposed to like what I would prefer happening. So I just want to put that disclaimer before people start going, oh, Alesia, why do you think that? I'm like, I think that this is just what will happen. It's not necessarily like my opinion. So I think that Victor and Hanna will be able to qualify for the final, will go direct to final. And that's kind of based off of what happened last week, which I think surprised some folks. Andra Hansen, I think could be Jakob and Nanne. Because Jacob's song is just, and I say that with, and I kind of hold my breath because I feel like William has potential to go Andra Hansen. I really, really do. And honestly, I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I'm really just not even clocking for Ellen and Simon because the song is just too derivative. I mean, like A Star Is Born came out, what, 2 years ago? Like, we heard Shallow then. I mean, come on. So Split in Half says Amanda Ossa was robbed. I mean, if she wasn't so stiff and sold the song, you know who Amanda needs to become friends with? She needs to become friends with Clara. Because when I rewatched that performance, Clara was selling that damn song. You want to talk about a girl that can get on stage? She needs to come back to Melodifestivalen and be in a semi where she can qualify because she was selling that whole performance. She was giving a strong vocal. She was giving winks. She was flirting with the camera. She was shaking it. She was doing it. She did her choreography. Clara, I'm not saying that she got robbed or anything like that because I'm not going to go there because I do think the song could have been better. But she sold the mess out of that song. And Amanda Ossa needs to become friends with her and figure out, like, girl, how do you get on stage and, like, you know, sell it? Because Clara knows how to sell. I mean, she could sell me water while I'm in the ocean. Okay. I mean, that girl, she was selling that song. I dance with myself. I don't need nobody. No, no. No. Yeah, that song was cute. But I did like yeah, that song was like stuck in my head. I really did like the track, but she wasn't selling it. You know, you gotta sell the song. Okay. Ambiguous Tim says Sweden needs to sing a Swedish song, not qualify, and come back with something fresh the next year. You know, I really do think that it's funny, I was tweeting about this the other day. And I'm gonna just talk to y'all because, you know, we got time. And there's 128 people watching right now. I'm just gonna tell y'all, I was rewatching Roger Ponter. When I tell you, that performance was so damn epic. And I decided this is what we need. We need Loreen to come back. She probably doesn't want to, but we need her to come back and then it'd be like Loreen featuring Jan Henrik Falgren. She can do her ethnic stuff. I mean, because that's the thing, like Loreen can just sing, but she's also ethnic herself. So she can be bringing that vocal to the floor and giving us that powerful vocal. And then we got Jan Henrik doing all of these ethnic vocalizations. I'm telling you, if Sweden wants to win again, that is the package. That is what we should be thinking about setting up. So Warner Music Sweden, figure out how y'all can Krister, figure out how you can make that happen, because that would be some shit that I think we could all get behind. And say if we don't want to have Loreen because it's just like, okay, well, she's already won before, so we want something different. Who else could I suggest? Oh, wait, Mariette. We could have Mariette featuring Jan Henrik Falgren. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I think just looking back at that Roger Ponter performance, and even going back and watching, so looking at everything that Jan Henrik Falgren has given, I mean, he really does need to represent Sweden at some point. I don't know what we need to do as a fan base to make that happen. But I mean, and honestly, I think if he went to Eurovision, it would just be receptive. And I said this last year, but let's be real. Spirit in the, like Norway had no business sending Spirit in the Sky. Sweden should have given that to us, in a sense. I'm so happy Norway gave it to us because clearly we needed it. And I did feel like the juries were slightly disrespectful to that performance because it deserved way more points than what it got. But yeah, like Spirit in the Sky. Could you imagine like Sweden putting together its vocalists? Maybe we could have, Real Talk. Actually, oh my goodness. Who was the guy with the light up suit? I think the song was called Amazing. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? He is blonde. Get in my comments. He is blonde. Oh my gosh. And he was dating that one young girl who won Idol. What is his name? Oh my gosh, it is on the tip of my tongue. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember his name. Danny Saucedo. Yes. Okay. So we can have Danny Saucedo. Okay. Danny. And then as our female vocalist, actually low key, as our female vocalist, we could have Hanna. I would be cool with that. We could have Hanna be our female vocalist because she can sing and she looks good. Hanna can be our female vocalist. And then we have Jan Henrik Falgren. Sweden. Come on. I just did it for you. There you go. So I just gave you a couple of combinations that y'all could go with that will be guaranteed for your next win at Eurovision. Yes. Yes. No, I mean, honestly, this semi made me, I'm not wild about this semi. Whereas like, I feel like it was like semi two, I felt like any of those songs could have gone. Like, because all of those songs to me were really strong. Like semifinal 2 to me actually ended up being like the surprise strong semi. Semifinal 1 had heavy hitters in it. I mean, point blank, they really did stack on the front side of things. Semifinal 1 had tons. And with this semi, it's weird because seemingly I was like, oh, we've got Hanna. Even though I do feel like y'all hyped up, I will follow. Yeah, what was that? That ballad with her and Liamu. Baby, I want you just for it. Yeah, yeah, and I really like a lot of Jacob's like older stuff. So I was curious to see him coming here, also coming and then giving us a Swedish entry. Because to me, I feel like Jacob was the one I was really looking at to give us our Swedish entry, in the final. So I don't know. I really liked Jacob's song a lot. On first listen, Jacob's song was the one that I really was like, oh, this is my favorite song of this bunch. I that one, I wanted to listen to more of it. And I don't even necessarily listen to that type of music in like my regular like life. I will say just to Ellen and Simon, I do want to just say, like, I think they sound great. I mean, I would love to say that they look great, but I don't think that they were giving us any styling. So yeah. Josh Kennan says, in Mellow every year, it feels like there's a banger semi just chock full of contenders, and then one semi that's just kind of an absolute clunker. Is this the one that's the clunker? Because I think people felt really underwhelmed last week. Even though I will say I felt like the Swedish press downplayed Mariette. I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it, because everyone was just like, this is her weakest entry and blah, blah, blah. I was like, this is the best she's looked. This is the best she sounded. And I don't want to say that it's the best. Ooh. Hello? It says I'm live. Hello? Ooh. Mm.